Timber! Written by Christopher Audrey. On the village green at Wellsworth there stood an enormous old elm tree. One autumn night a great gale blew and broke off one of the branches, which crashed heavily to the ground. No one was hurt, but there was an awful mess. Next day men came to inspect the tree. They measured this and that and made important looking notes on their pad, nodding and looking serious. "It's not safe," they said to each other. "It'll have to come down." A day was fixed, and it happened on the same day. Jem, Cole and Trevor were working in the vicarage garden, cutting a supply of logs to last the vicar through the winter. Trevor is an old green traction engine. Some years ago, everyone helped to save him from the scrapyard. He persuaded the vicar to buy him, and now Trevor lives in the vicar's orchard. In winter, he stores wood for the vicarage fires, and in summer, he gives children rides whenever he is asked to do so. Jem Cole, his driver, is always glad when the vicar says there is work for Trevor. "Trevor and me make a good partnership," he says. Trevor and Jem had been busy all morning, and a great pile of cut logs showed that they had almost finished. Suddenly, they heard a shout from the gate. Jem carefully stopped the saw and went to find out what was the matter. He came back with a great grin right across his face. "The tree cutter on the green has broken down," he said, "and they want to borrow you, Trevor, my lad. I better go and find the reverends." He hurried away. The vicar was delighted to let Trevor help. "I wish I can come too, but my servants will never get finished if I do," he said. The green wasn't far away, and soon Trevor and Jem had reached the crowd waiting for them. Jem drove Trevor into position and made his saw ready. A bigger one this time! Then he pulled the lever and Trevor chopped happily. The old tree trunk was thick, and it took some while to cut through it. But at last the tree creaked, leaned a little way and stopped. Jem stretched a bruising arm and pushed it very gently. "Timber!" shouted someone. The great elm tree leaned further and further until, with a crack and a roar, it tumbled to the ground. Debris flew in all directions, and a great cloud of roots coiled crossly and, being disturbed, rose from the trees nearby and drifted about in the air like pieces of burned paper. Trevor and Jem spent all next day cutting the fallen giant into smaller lengths and dragging them close to the road where a lorry could collect them. Then at last, the job well done. Trevor trotted happily back to his place in the vicarage orchard. "I enjoyed that," he said to himself, "just like the old days." And with a smile on his face, he fell asleep.